Welcome to your first Path to Lead coaching hype video. My name is Darren, and I'm a part of the coaching enablement team within Credit Operations. I am thrilled to be your host as I will be introducing you to some key coaching concepts that'll help drive performance with your team while creating a collaborative coaching environment for you and your specialists. Today, we're going to arm you with the knowledge and skills to further build and enhance your coaching conversations and successfully navigate challenges like prioritizing competing priorities. So, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a fun ride. But first, let's meet the coaching team that will be partnering with you on this Credit Ops coaching transformation journey. First, there's our leader extraordinaire, Nicole Caroli. She is our strategy support and enablement director. She oversees quality, strategic planning, change management, employee engagement, and all things coaching. Next, we have Carla Da Silva. Carla is our senior manager of engagement. She keeps our team on track by ensuring we meet our deliverables while strategically mapping out our monthly goals and other initiatives. And finally, we have our coaching enablement managers, Richard Destina and Christina Deladone out of Montreal. And of course, there's myself, Darren Broadbelt, here in Toronto. We create content to support our frontline managers to create alignment, and we support our managers in their coaching conversations through monthly observations. It's important to say that Path to Lead is not rocket science. Everyone can be successful within this transformation journey. I want to share with you 3 things that will make you successful in this program. First, be present, be open-minded, and be a learner, not an observer. By being present, we mean showing up for the scheduled sessions. Pay attention and stay focused. Keep devices away, as there's no such thing as multitasking. And of course, especially in our virtual environment, no talking while others are talking. In terms of being open-minded, we ask that you don't dismiss things until you've given it a chance, and be prepared to try something even if it feels uncomfortable. So let's start, shall we? I'd like for you to play with me for a moment and cross your arms in front of you. Good. Now, how does that feel? Comfortable like that, right? Now uncross your arms and cross them the opposite way of what comes naturally to you. Now, how does that feel? Awkward, uncomfortable, weird. I bet it does. Okay, enough with the torture. Now go back to the way that it feels natural to you. Now that feels better, right? Here's the thing. Path to Lead will teach you things that are going to make you feel uncomfortable from time to time. And we're going to ask you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The reality is that you'll naturally be drawn to going back to your comfortable ways because it feels better. But if we keep doing things the same way and expecting a different result, that's not going to get us the progress and development we want. Okay, great. So what do we mean by being a learner and not an observer? I know this sounds cliche, but you'll get out of Path to Lead what you put into it. So ask questions, answer questions, challenge things if we're not clear, and be active, not passive. So can we count on you to be open-minded and get comfortable being uncomfortable? I hope you're nodding your head as you watch this or raising your hands in the air. For today, we'll be spotlighting some key learnings to help prepare you for your first workshop. First, we're going to look at the connection between neuroscience and coaching. We'll also answer this question: what is coaching? and showcase the differences between management, leadership, and coaching. And finally, we'll share a coaching video so you can see what a collaborative coaching conversation looks like. So sit back, listen, take notes, and if you have to play this video over again to grasp any of the concepts, feel free to play it again. This video shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. How many of you have ever heard of the name David Rock? David is a co-founder and chief executive officer of the Neuroleadership Institute, and he coined the term neuroleadership. He started a global initiative bringing neuroscientists and leadership experts together to build a new science for leadership and development. And he's the author of a book called Quiet Leadership. In his book, he has a great quote that says, "We need to give up on our desire to find behaviors to fix and become fascinated with identifying and growing people's strengths." Coaching works under the theory that it's better to have conversations rather than telling people what they should be doing. It's about focusing on what can be done moving forward instead of what didn't go right on the last call or in previous instances. It's about leading people through their thoughts and empowering them to move forward and be excellent in what they do. It's about being fascinated by watching people grow and develop. Now you're probably wondering, what does neuroscience have to do with coaching? That's a good question. Now, before I begin, I want to preface my comments by calling out that I am not a neurologist, nor am I a neuroscientist. But I want to share with you some information studied in the area of neuroscience that I think will prove to be helpful in your path to lead journey. Let's start with your brain, shall we? And for this, we'll look at 3 components that make up your brain. First, we have the reptilian brain, also known as the primal brain. The primal brain is where your body focuses on things like feeding, fighting, fleeing, and reproduction. This part of your brain controls all the vital functions of your body. Next, we have the limbic system. This is the part of your brain that houses your emotions, things like happiness, anger, fear, and anxiety. As a coach, your ability to connect and motivate the person you're coaching will impact this part of their brain. Will they walk away feeling reinvigorated, confident, and energized about their task ahead? Or will you make them feel nervous and uncomfortable, where they go into flight mode? Next, we have the neocortex. This is where learning and understanding happens. This part of the brain deals with the higher function of your brain for things like sensory perception, which looks at hearing, vision, taste, smell, and touch. Motor commands, conscious thought, and reasoning all happen in this part of your brain. Why it's important to understand this part of how the brain functions is because as a coach, your goal should be to put your fraud analyst in a state of collaboration and willingness to engage in the conversation to where they feel comfortable, because in doing that, you will get the best out of them. Alternatively, if they feel nervous or judged or unsafe, they will shut down and go into flight mode. Think of your brain like a connected machine. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself. Not only does it change from one day to the next, it changes from moment to moment. This ongoing change process creates opportunities for coaches to support their folks in practicing new ways of thinking, living, and being that lead to greater success in virtually every realm: interpersonal, emotional, cognitive, and physiological. So I think it's safe to say that coaching positively impacts the brain. The brain states and physical states experienced by coachees during coaching make temporary positive changes in the coachee's mind. When these changes are generated consistently through coaching, they become sustainable habits. Coaching has the capacity to shift coachees into the most productive and impactful states, to where they literally become happier and more successful. So let's jump right into some basic concepts around coaching. Our first step is to create a common language around the definitions of management, leadership, and coaching. These terms get bounced around a lot and can mean different things to different people. For example, have you ever heard yourself or someone say, "I need to schedule some coaching time with Bob to discuss his 2 lates this week"? Is this really a coaching moment, or is it something else? Let's look closely at the definitions and some examples of each to get aligned on the important differences. First, management. Management tends to be very focused on the what and typically has a lot of tell to it. These include activities that manage or mitigate risk we need to do to keep control of operations and ensure compliance to business policies and procedures. Management activities reduce risk by creating process and routine. Some activities include analytics and reporting, process improvement, and HR issues. Anybody get any of those? Now let's look at leadership. Leadership tends to be more focused on the who and the why. Good leadership typically calls for a balance of some tell and some ask. Leadership activities build culture and drive change. Some examples include creating vision with clear objectives, growth and development, and leading by example or modeling. Okay, so if that's management and leadership, then what's coaching? So let's have a look at what coaching is and what coaching isn't. Really good coaches ask and collaborate. They don't tell or dictate what to do. They listen and brainstorm. They don't assume they know the best or that their opinion counts the most. And they build on their specialist strengths to take them from good to great. They also coach for continuous improvement and innovation. Coaching is not about fixing mistakes. Coaching is helping your team build their skills. Effective coaching replaces old habits with new habits. Activities can include things like deliberate practice. That is practicing a skill in a safe environment. Observational coaching with balanced feedback for a demonstrated skill. Driving KPIs to create consistent performance results. And of course, follow-up conversations to reinforce new habits. To gain alignment, let's get specific on the definition of coaching. To be effective in coaching, a leader has to meet the following criteria. So in terms of where, coaching is one-on-one, and it can be in the field of play. It's real-time, proactive, and observational. In terms of outcomes, there's an agreement to a specific action to meet a goal or KPI. There's a check for evidence that they know both what to do and how to do it. There's a specific commitment from the specialist to implement. That includes when and how. And the last one is that there's a specific commitment from the coach to follow up that also includes when and how. So that's the path to lead definition of coaching. We'll be working towards those outcomes as we journey through Path to Lead. And to do that, we'll be breaking the skill of coaching down to 4 specific, repeatable steps. Here's a sneak peek of our 4-step coaching path for those of you that are curious. We'll be getting very familiar with the coaching path plus so much more. But until then, that'll do it for this hype video. But wait, don't leave just yet. In anticipation of our upcoming virtual workshop, we'd like to leave you with this one quote that we think summarizes good leadership, and it's from Maya Angelou. I've learned people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you for watching today's hype video. I hope you found it informative. I can't wait to see you at our next workshop. See you soon.